Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. Today we're going to do caramelized pecans. It's going to be good. You're going to need a pound of pecans. I do the halves. Some honey. 2 egg whites. Aren't they beautiful? Those are for my chickens. A stick of butter. And some sugar. So I have my oven preheated at 250. And we're going to spread our pecans right out of the package onto the cookie sheet, and then we're going to bake it for about 10 minutes. I think somebody might have been in my little bag of pecans, but here they are. And we're just going to put them in the oven for about 10 minutes. We didn't spray the pan or anything. Are y'all loving Christmas like I am? I love Christmas. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to get our egg whites and our yolks separated. And all I do is just toss it back and forth, get those egg whites out. And then I save my yolks for something else. I feed the eggshells crushed up to my chickens. It's good for them. It's calcium, it's grit. It's really good for them. And you may not like that idea, but it's really good for them. All right, we've done that. I'm going to set my egg yolks aside for a different project. And we're going to beat our egg whites. There's 2 egg whites in here. And we're just going to beat them really, really good. This is a really simple project. It makes great gifts. In fact, I'm planning on, that's my plan, is to make a lot of these and have them under the Christmas tree in little packages for my guests that drop by. So you just want to pour them in another bowl. So we've got our egg whites in here. Next, we're going to add 1 cup of sugar. We're just going to add it to our egg whites. Next, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of honey. I love honey. I try to keep it all the time. If it ever crystallizes in your jar, all you have to do is stick it in the microwave or warm it over warm heat, and it'll bring it right back to life. Mine was kind of crystallized today. So now I have my sugar, my egg whites, and my honey in a bowl, and I'm just going to mix these all together. So our pecans should be about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm gonna do next. This is I think this is like a 10 by 13 pan. I think the recipe says to get like a 9 by 11 pan, and you want to melt some butter. This is unsalted butter. And you wanna melt that butter in the oven. So to prepare the next step of the pecans. That should be going off any second. I told you. Now I've took my pecans out, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna increase my temperature on the stove to 325 to get ready for the next step. So what this did is it kind of toasted your pecans, and it also got them warm, where when you put them in this bowl, in this mixture with the egg whites and the sugar and the honey, they're gonna stick to the pecans easier. I hope this bowl is big enough for all this. See, these aren't too warm for you to touch. Whoa. I'm gonna stick this pan of butter in the oven where it can be melting. You don't want to leave that in there too long. You don't want to burn it. By the time we get this mixed up, it should be fine. I've changed from a whisk to a wooden spoon, and I'm just going to coat these, trying to get that mixture of the egg whites, the sugar, and the honey on every piece of these pecans. So it does not take long to melt this butter in the oven. If you are afraid that you will forget it, you can do this on the eye in your cake pan, whatever pan you use. So I'm going to get it out. It should be almost ready. So here's our melted butter. Two ways you can do this. You can take your pecans and pour them right in this pan with the butter and toss them around with that melted butter. Or you can pour your butter into the bowl and just stir your pecans up. I think I'm just going to pour them in the pan of butter and kind of toss them around. And then what we want to do is we're going to make a single layer of pecans. And you want to get all that goodness out. So I'm going to toss these around in the butter. So this is twofold. It keeps them from sticking in the pan, but it also has that buttery taste that makes it so good. See, if this pan was a little bit smaller, they'd spread out and wouldn't have all the space in between. But I like this pan. It's my favorite cake pan ever, and I use it all the time. So now what I'm trying to do is just get them spaced out where it's a single layer, and it's easy to do. Where every piece is in the butter. And you can see, you just want to try to get it spaced out as much as you can. So we're going to put our pecans in the oven at 325, and we're going to put them in there for 30 minutes. And we're going to stir them about every 8 to 10 minutes, something like that. I don't know about y'all, but I really have to set a timer either on my phone or on my oven. I have to have a timer because I do get easily distracted. So this is what they look like after 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to toss them around. They're getting a little brown on the edges because of the egg whites, and that's the whole point of keeping them stirred. Is you don't want, you know, certain parts to be brown. But this is going to be delicious, just delicious. So now we're going to put it back in the oven for 10 more minutes, and then we're going to stir again. A total of 30 minutes, stirring 3 times. Our second stirring. Pretty it's getting. Look how pretty and brown it's getting. Okay, now we're going to stir it again. I'm just going to stir it up. Ooh, you should smell this. All right, I'm going to get them flat on the cake pan again as much as I can in a single layer. So that's 20 minutes into it, stirring every 10 minutes. So we stirred it twice. So this will be 10 more minutes. That'll be a total of 30 minutes, and then we'll stir it when it comes out. Our 30 minutes is about up, and we should hear the, there it is. This is what they look like. Third time, they're done. So now all we have to do is stir them around, get them flat on the cookie sheet for the last time. Now the butter should keep them from sticking, and we're just gonna let these cool. They are gonna be delicious. As I said before, you can double this recipe, triple this recipe. I'm gonna do it one day, and I'm gonna make gifts. And I better hurry up and do it. But my sister-in-law, this is an example of a bag I want to use that I've got ordered. My sister-in-law gave me this potpourri, and I think it's beautiful. Just beautiful. But it's a Christmas simmer pot kit is what it is. And it's got so many different things in it. I just think it's beautiful. But I wanted to show you this because this is the type of bag I want to put these in. So you let them cool completely in the pan, out of the pan, it doesn't matter. And then place them in this bag. And then if somebody comes to your house, or you could put them in a jar if you wanted to do that. But I've got some of these ordered, so I'm hoping to do this. And one day I'm just going to spend the day doing pecans, or a morning doing pecans. I'm very excited about it. I want to taste one. So I want to get one out just to see if I can cool it down where I can at least taste of it. I have put flaked sea salt on this before, just a little bit. Heavenly. I have put cinnamon in it before. Wonderful. It smells delicious. This is just candied pecans, the way I'm fixing them now. And that's probably the way I'm going to do all my gifts. I'm so excited about it. Let me taste of this if it's not too hot. You know me and hot things. I better let it cool. But while we're waiting on this to cool, I wanted to read you a verse. And I'm going to read it where I'll get every word right. It's not a Christmas verse, but it's a Christmas message to me. And I wanted to share it with you. I put it on Facebook, and I hope it helps somebody. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. And they shall walk and not faint. Isn't that such a hope to us? I know if you're like me and you're praying a prayer for somebody or something, and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, that verse tells us what to do. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Isn't that beautiful? I just think that's beautiful. What a Christmas message that is. We don't often hear things like that at Christmas. Okay, let's try this. Great gift, I'm telling you. And I say that every time. This is really, really good. I'll put these in a jar for Sweet Hunter, and he can snack on these anytime he wants. They won't last long. We have some homemade ice cream in the freezer in little cups, and I think that's what I'm gonna make him for dessert, and put some of these candy pecans on it. It's gonna be so good. Y'all, Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching. Y'all go cook something.